Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. And as you can see, I have a guest, and I have my very good friend Tony from London on the show again after a while. Thank you, mate, for
Hey,
being
Alex.
back here.
Good to see you, mate. Yeah, good to be back.
Yes, good to see you. And today we have a very good show that you suggested. And in a way, mate, we have been talking about this a lot, and
Yeah,
it's just a different spin, a different angle, but trusting source over science, which makes a lot of sense. And so we want to start. Let us know. Trusting
yeah.
source over science.
Sure. Yeah, we was talking about something, weren't we? We came up with, well, you were saying something, it sparked an idea in me. We was talking along these lines anyway, and I thought, oh, that's an idea for a chat. Source versus science, and you came up with the title. But yeah, it's just really how this world puts its trust in science and surface ideas and hearsay and second-hand information. And the public trust what they're told by the scientists. They trust, oh, the scientist said it's safe, or the scientist said it's this or it's that. So the people trust it because this is an expert talking, and they don't ever consider maybe they're wrong. Maybe they're not as magnificent as they put themselves across to be. Maybe they're fallible. Maybe they aren't always 100% correct, but the public just trust blindly, as if they're next to God almost. And it's all second-hand information, because if an expert tells you something or a scientist tells you something, it's their word on that subject. It's not the truth. You're trusting their word. So it's always second-hand information. You didn't do the research. You didn't go out and study this field and look with your own eyes and see it for yourself. You're always getting second-hand information. So when I get a gut feeling or an intuition, I listen to it and I say, don't sound right, or I don't feel right about this. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to jump right in. I'm going to wait and see what happens. And that normally, it always works out for me. When I don't pay attention to that, I did it once and it went badly. It don't work out for me. So I listen to my gut, my intuition, and yeah, the world is built on trust. Trust the experts. Trust the science. So I think intuition and science is a big bridge that we need to cross, and I don't think we're going to meet eye to eye on intuition and science, because also there's vested interest. There's money and agendas involved. So I would always go with intuition, mate. Always go with my gut and what I believe is my source connection. What resonates with me. So that's where I'll start it, mate.
Yes, and to put a little kind of context, I'll put a personal story out. This is very personal for me, but I'm gonna share it. No problem. It's not big stuff, but I recently shared with you privately that my father, it was his 80th birthday. Okay, so he's pretty up there with age, and the last few years he has been sharing, I guess, feelings that he's a little bit afraid of dying. Okay, because he's 80. Okay, so as far as ages, a good percentage of people don't make it to 80. So he knows that, and he knows the end is very close as he sees the end. And as you know, chatting with me, seeing my channel, I'm not saying I have good information, but I have feelings, I have intuitions, as you say, I have connections to what that means. And I know he shouldn't be as afraid as he should be. He's gonna go on. I'm 1,000,000% sure.
Yeah.
But who am I to share that with him? And I've tried a few times to kind of, when he says that, because one time, maybe a year ago, he felt ill, and he felt it was the end. He felt he was having maybe a heart attack or something like that. And when it was, I think it was a stomach problem or something like that, my sister said, why were you so afraid? I mean, you were kind of overreacting. I said, I'm afraid of dying. I mean, I'm 79 or something like that.
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make is we live in a society, mate, that even your family will see you as who you are in the topic. Okay. If someone is going to talk about the universe, if Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is a recognized physicist and probably the person alive that knows more about outer space and astronomy and that, and I try to, someone says, okay, let's have Alex and let's have Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay, but this Neil deGrasse Tyson, okay, who are you, Alex? You're no one. And that's the thing, mate. We put weight on what are your credentials, what are your validations,
Yeah.
who controls that?
Mm.
We don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying Neil deGrasse Tyson is not a smart person. He is. And I'm not saying Neil deGrasse Tyson hasn't done research for tens of years. He has. But still, for me, that means zero, because as intuition-based, as source wisdom, okay, and I have to bring a name back, Terrence Howard. I felt that.
Mm.
I felt he was speaking from the heart. I felt he was speaking through intuition. What he was saying, it was so amazing, much more advanced than anything I could get from Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
Okay, because he felt connected, resonated as something. So we unfortunately live in a world that, if we're going to talk about the topic, who are you? What are your credentials? We live in a validation system when
Yep.
we're really not prepared or we're really not in tune of seeing this person speaking from the heart. So this means this is the jackpot. Okay.
Mm.
And I'm not saying you and I are the jackpot. I'm saying whoever is speaking from the heart is giving you the best. Okay. Even if it's very simple stuff. Because again, wisdom and the connection to source and the connection to the universe doesn't necessarily is advanced stuff, and that's why Terence Howard gets discredited, because they said we don't know what he's talking about. Of course, because it seems so simple, but it's so advanced. It's really beyond. Okay, and so I wanted to share that story because with my father, I just tried to make him feel comfortable. Yes, of course, he's at the end of his life. Yes. I mean, he's not going to live to 180. No one has. So he clearly knows it's just a few more years and that. I wish he was not afraid. And I wish we could have that conversation for him to listen and say, oh, you don't have any books. You're not recognized, but I get it. I see you speak from the heart, and we are not prepared. It's the change that is happening. You and I have spoken privately that I feel humanity is changing, and that's happening a lot. But people are seeing, hey, and I think people see our chats, mate, and most, if not all of our chats have been through the heart. No preparation, just speaking whatever comes here, okay?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, mate. That's the challenge, I think. How do we really leave this system that there's, first of all, is whatever you speak about, who are you on the subject, and who puts those accolades of saying, hey, you want to speak about the universe? I want peer-reviewed whatever papers, and I want to see where you have spoken and who has validated your research. And when I say I don't care at all about that, most people will say, well, we don't care what you have to say because you're clearly full of that. So I think that's the issue, mate.
Yeah, good points. Very good points. And I think your dad is in them sort of stages of reflecting on life and reflecting on the future. And it's these moments when you speak to him and you speak from the heart, you can not tell him anything, but broaden his horizon, broaden his view on the possibilities, and that no one knows for sure, and it's all about how you feel. Are you prepared? Are you ready? Are you at ease? We all die. The best point in dying is to be at peace. So you've got a better chance of transitioning in the best way. So what's the word? Coming to terms with things, and not mentally, not in a mental way. Oh, I've got to do this and do that and tick this box, tick that box. No, feel okay in yourself, in your conscience, that you're at rest now. You're ready, and that's how I try to be in everyday life, at rest. Like come from a place of stillness and be here now. Just be in the present. And once you're in the present, there are no problems. There's just now, and the now is always okay. There's never a problem. It's only the mind that makes it so, as Shakespeare said. So the mind is what causes all the problems. But yes, science is they give us these truths, and they bombard us with these truths that tell us this is this, that's that, you must believe this, and this is the truth, and this is the truth. But it's all secondhand information. And yet we have to, no, the public's been convinced because they've seen it on a TV screen or on a poster or in a book. They visually see it. So the way psychology works, if you see it, it becomes truth. It's like the subconscious doesn't discriminate between what's real and what isn't real. It just absorbs it, and that is now the truth. You know, you've seen it on a TV advert. It's a fact now in someone's mind. Unless you're very cynical or very careful about the truth, you'll think, hang on, maybe that's not the truth. But you know, be open-minded to other possibilities, and that way they're not railroading you into their belief. They're not steamrolling you into their ideas. So I always have an open mind on what could be, all the possibilities, not just what they're telling me, someone else is telling me. And that way I'm free of it. I'm not looking at them as someone to chase or follow. I don't follow anybody. So, and if truth comes to me, it will come to me when it's ready. I don't chase the truth. It's when I reveal what's not true, the truth will show itself. And there's no stress there. I'm not chasing. I'm allowing what's not true to fall away. The truth just shows itself without any effort. So, and that's my intuition again. That tells me, don't chase that. Don't chase that. Just don't, or do, or have a look at this and have a look at that. And I'll surf the waves. I'll surf the waves of the moment. And it takes me where I need to go. So source is always present and aware and still and the most intelligent. So as long as I'm present and still and composed, calm, still laugh and joke, but stay here now, always, and surf the moments. And that's how I live. And I think that's my connection to source. I don't have an agenda. I don't chase things. I don't want to know what I don't know. It's not here now. I don't want to know. I don't want to chase anything. And I think that's when source says, okay, you're open to things. I can tell you now through intuition where to go, what to do, what to say. So science, like we said in another chat, is the surface, the waves on the surface, just like the activity. And the source is the ocean, the still infinite ocean beneath. And I'd rather be there, be still and present and aware, enjoy life, and let God surf, let God take the driving wheel, you know? So that's where I'd see it, mate, yeah. Chasing facts, chasing truth leads to nowhere good in my book. But yeah, that's my point.
Yes, and going back to the story of my father, I think it's exactly what you're saying. With that, you get the message from your intuition, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. But when it's a rational thought, when it's something you go through your mind, when it's something that is, what do they tell us, mate? Death is the end. Okay. And also
Yeah.
your life, as older you go, you start looking at achievements. And my father had a good life. I mean, but in some way, again, the mind wants to go on forever. So he's with that struggle that his mind is telling him, we're getting close to the end here. I don't like it. And so I wish I could share this with you, mate. I wish I could, he could have a conversation with you, but it's not going to change things because it's something that has to come from within.
Yeah.
We can maybe inspire, we can maybe make you curious. We can, and we
Mhm.
trust me, we have tried, mate. We have spoken about so much. Now that I was working on the blog, that soon we're gonna have a show talking about the blog, and I went through all the episodes. It's amazing. It's amazing what we have touched. It's amazing, mate. We have
We just
tried
wing it.
really. We have tried. Yeah, no, I know, but we have really looked at this poor issue through so many different angles, through so many different ways. But it's not gonna crack this within you unless you allow it. If you really have your mind in control,
Yeah.
you're not connected. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to say, I'm not saying you're not spiritual. I'm just saying you're allowing your mind to control you. And yes, it's gonna take you to the point that as you get up there with age, you're gonna be more afraid and more afraid. And some people seek. My father is not religious. Maybe that will help him. Or some people
Mhm.
seek that peace in religions. Okay, saying, okay, I'm afraid, but I go to church and the priest tells me to be okay, that
Mhm.
I'm gonna be when I pass, Jesus Christ or Allah or whoever is
Mhm.
gonna be there to take me over, and the Prophet Muhammad, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
And if that gives you peace, I guess that's great.
Yeah.
My father, he was never religious, and in a way, I'm not saying he's an atheist or something like that. He's just he believes what he can see, okay, and
Yeah.
hear. So right now he's in a moment that he's afraid of the future, and
Yeah.
that gets me, man.
Yeah.
That gets me because I wish I could have a chat of saying, do you believe in me? No. Okay. I wish he would say yes, so I could share. This is my feeling, but you find
Mm.
your own feeling that you're gonna be fine. I'm
Yeah.
sure you're gonna be fine. I'm totally
Yeah.
sure you're gonna be fine. But again, if
Yeah.
I was coming from, again, we go with impressions and that. If I was flying from the heavens and an image and on a spaceship or something, then maybe he will believe me. That's the story part. That's the
Sure.
sad part.
Yeah.
We
That's
leave the impressions to
Yeah.
say, or if I was a renowned scientist and I had tested my theories with
Yeah.
experiments and on the scientific method, and I had videos and I had proof of,
Yeah.
then maybe. But I
That's
remember when we were talking, I'm not gonna say the thing, but we were talking, remember,
yeah.
before
Yeah.
recording, okay? I had a chat with my father and mother. Guys, wait a year, okay?
Yeah.
Don't have it. Wait a year.
Yeah.
And I remember they tell him, are you a doctor? Or
Mm.
are you a doctor and maybe we don't know about? And I was like, no, we're going with that, with our
Mm.
doctor's suggestions. Okay?
Mm.
So that's why I say don't believe Tony and I, don't believe videos, don't believe
Mm.
books, don't believe that. Because if you don't feel it inside you, you're not, I mean, the only truly information you can get is the one you get from source. Is the one you
Mm.
get from the universe, okay?
Yeah.
All the other things really is it's an illusion in a way.
Yeah. Good word. Yeah.
It's an illusion. So the only real thing in my life, mate, is my connection to the universe. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm special. I'm not saying I'm blessed. I'm not saying
Mm.
I'm ahead. I'm just saying that you and I, for a long time, before I even met you, I'm sure, you and I have relinquished ourselves to our intuition. And it's
Yeah.
not the God. It's not the God because that's also physical. It's the intuition that speaks in you. Very simple, like a very wise teacher.
Yeah.
It's not into explanations. It's not into
Mm.
storytelling. It's not into exaggerating. It's not into
Mm.
any of that. It's not doesn't care about giving you details. It's the yes and the no. Is the be at peace. Is the one that speaks to you in the moment you really need it. That you're there and you're really in doubt. I've been
Yeah.
sharing with you that I've been getting these messages. Relax, Alex.
Yeah.
Relax. You're making a problem when there's not a problem. Okay.
Yes. That's it.
So what
Yeah.
do you think of that, man?
Yeah. Very, very wise. It's like a battle between the mind and the heart, isn't it? It's
Mm.
it's sort of a tug of war. You're pulling this way, pulling that way. And I think the mind, because of our conditioning from school, TV, films, books, it's like a hamster wheel. So the more you feed it knowledge or quotes knowledge, and it keeps spinning. And then if you get a degree or qualification, that's so much more knowledge, and you load it up and it's spinning even faster. So now you're so invested in this thing up here, you don't know the connection to the heart and the present. You're in a parallel world, a parallel world that you think is the real world when it isn't. It's a mental world. So the more people invest in the mind as a sort of insurance policy against life, the more distant from life they become, because the mind isn't connected to life. It's like a camera taking pictures of life and then computing it like a computer. So it has no real connection to life. It's an analytical machine. So, and those of us like me and you and many others who we do that stuff, we think, we read and we assess things mentally, but we also use our intuition and how we feel about things. And I don't feel right or this. So we maybe do 50% heart. And then that gives us a choice. And then we still dabble in the mind and books and science. And then we see holes in it and think, this ain't all it's cracked up to be. This science ain't making that much sense these days. I'm going to trust my heart. So our attention, instead of going up there more, it comes down to the heart and the present. So it's where we put our attention is the key. Because I think we are just consciousness, pure consciousness as our essence. That's what we are. Like the knowing, the space of awareness, the knowing, divine awareness. So the body is a physical object, but we're the witness of it. We see from beneath, so to speak. We shine from beneath. And that's who we are. We're not a physical entity. We're a non-physical light. Call it light, divine witness. So it knows the body. It knows where my legs and my feet are, my arms, my head. You can hear my voice. You can feel my belly full of linguine. But it's separate. It's not of it. It shines through it all and sees it dispassionately. It has no judgment, like you say. It's no judgment or view on anything. It just sees. And it sees the mind working and it sees the intuition working. And that is who I think we are. We're pure awareness. That is the source. And we've forgotten to be the observer. People have forgotten to be the observer, the witness, and sit back from it all and let that, and just observe it. Don't jump into things and get lost in them. We've got to leave breadcrumbs to get back to where we are, to be the observer again. And I think that's where I would put the place to be is be the source, be the observer, be the witness, the consciousness, the empty consciousness of all things. And then you don't get lost in anything. And that's the one thing we're not taught at school. We're never taught, oh, what's the one thing you need in life to do anything, to experience anything? Oh, consciousness. Because without consciousness, I couldn't pick a pen up and write some words on a bit of paper because I couldn't see the words on a pen or the paper. So the primary thing beneath all things is awareness. And it's one of those, you have to live it. You can't be taught this stuff. And it's choosing where you put your attention. You put it in your mind, get lost up there, or you put it in your heart and the present. And I think that's it, mate. It's a choice of science or source. And it's the choice people make. And the more you invest in the mind, the more you're invested in it. So, yeah, that's it. Choice. It's the choices we make and the investments we make with our attention, which leads us to build fake castles here, there, and everywhere. And we forget ourselves. We forget we're the source. And that's what I'd say.
Yes,
Bit
but
deep.
wise, very deep, wise words. And as you were saying that, it was coming to my mind that recently a person that I know through YouTube on the Spanish channel, she's very ill. Okay, let's just leave it at that. It doesn't matter exactly what. And it came to me, mate, that she was sharing her story, okay, on a video, that I understand doctors are very true information and all. I understand it, but if it's very clear that also our emotions, mate, how we
Mm.
react to this life, how we allow things to really impact us has a very deep impact in our health.
Oh yeah.
And if you're having this disease over and over and over again, isn't one of the doctors really can go away from the pills, the
Mm.
things, and the
Yeah.
treatments, and just say, "How are you? I mean,
Yeah.
do you have something that is blocking you? Do you
Yeah.
have something that really is dragging you down? Let's talk about that. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but
Mm.
let's talk about that or find someone to talk about."
Yeah.
Because it's clear for me was made my intuition was shouting at me as I was watching this video. And it actually maybe through the ego a little bit. I don't think that was my intuition because it's not my place. Was saying, try to speak to this person and ask her, is there something going on?
Yeah.
Is there did you have a loss? Is there something you're upset about? Do you hate someone? Stuff like that, mate.
Mm.
Because if you think about it, mate, that's the core of what drags us down. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay. Especially this, I don't want to say that name, but this particular disease that comes over and over.
Yeah.
And this is the world, mate. Again, back to the story of my father. This is the world we're okay.
Yeah.
These things are what we can see and what we can hear. Okay. And
Yeah.
even that, there's a song or something, a saying, believe nothing of you what you can see and half of what you hear, or something, or the opposite. Believe nothing of what you hear
Yes.
and half of what you can see, or something. That's not even
That's it.
that. Not even that.
Yeah.
So you're really screwed because okay, I saw it, I heard it, yeah, but it's probably you heard wrong or you
Yeah.
didn't see it properly.
Yeah.
It's
I think.
go ahead, man.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. I was like the woman that's not well. You know, she's. You want to ask her, is there something you've lost someone, or what is it emotionally that's affecting you? I think it's like the world is a reflection of our inner life. So say I lost my granddad, as you know, he died years ago now, but I still miss him. But when it happened, it was a big hole in my life. He wasn't there. This guy that helped me, talked to me, little bits and pieces. And it's like everywhere I looked, he used to eat Murray mints, these little sweets called Murray mints. I see him in the shop and I think of my granddad. My granddad used to eat. Everywhere I looked, I saw something. Someone had a cap, a flat cap. My granddad wore that. I think my granddad. So the world was reflecting back at me something that's inside me. So my loss, my love of my granddad, and me missing him, the world was showing me. This is, your granddad. There he is. There he is. There he is. And I think we live in the mind too much, and instead of acknowledging, yeah, I do miss my granddad or my mum or whoever, and grieving properly, and doing whatever you need to do. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You could play a sport, you could cry, you could do whatever, but be authentic and be in tune with the world. Don't let your mind take you away from your own feelings. And laugh when you see things that remind you of loved ones. Smile, remember them fondly, and that is the universe getting in tune with you to help you. So I think the more you are present, it's a simple thing, but it's not easy to do. The more you're present, the more the universe helps you because it's showing you what your life is. It's a mirror, and it's showing you where to go and what to laugh at and what to smile at and what to cry at. So I would say to people, just live your life in the moment, and thinking is overrated. That's what I would say. No mind, no problem. And that's a long step for people, but thinking is overrated, really is. And We've been taken from our mind, from our heart to the head, and I think that's the key. Come out of the head into the present, and get in tune with Source. And Source will go, "Oh, welcome home. You're back. Hello, come back. You're here now. Well done." Open arms. So I think that's what Source is waiting for us to come back to the present and back to ourselves.
I will add to that, mate. Overthinking is even dangerous. Overthinking is something that's one thing for years now that I've been trying. When I get my mind racing, is immediately stop. It's like a car revving up. Slow down, because you're not gonna get me overthinking. Okay. And I don't know if this person may nothing happened, mate, but we downplay the role of our emotions and how we deal the reactions. And how we deal with life, with our health, and mental health, physical health, everything. Okay. So I'm completely convinced that depression and anxiety is overthinking. And one is depression is of the past, and anxiety is of the future. You think about. Anxiety is being fearful of the future by overthinking.
Sure.
And depression is overanalyzing the past, especially the relationships and that. And
That's it.
And the typical equation that is never gonna pan out.
No.
Of saying, "Oh, I did so much for," and they, like for example, I know a mother saying, "I did everything. I gave my life for my children." Yeah, that's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't expect anything back. Okay,
No.
if they call you your birthday, that's great. If they don't, it's them. Okay, maybe they forgot, maybe they had something important to do, maybe they don't care. I don't know, but depression is putting too much expectations on others. Okay. I know. I want to be respectful, and there's a depression episode coming out soon that is already made, and it's a podcast. And basically the message is you have the power. You have the power to get out of that. And I want to be really respectful. I have family members with depression. I have friends with depression, also with anxiety. But if you think about that, really depression is overthinking. You stop overthinking, and suddenly the depression starts clearing out.
Yeah. And the psychiatrists want to talk about it. Yeah.
And yes, that's the thing.
Keep it going.
I remember my mother was very deep with depression for a few years. And I remember going with a doctor to. She said one day, I want you to come with me, and the doctor wants to speak with you. And the doctor said, no, it's because this is a disease and she's never gonna get over it. Then you're really not a good doctor.
No.
I mean, she's never gonna get over it. Are you God, or how do you see the future? I mean,
Yeah.
She got over it, man. But the doctor said, no, this is something she's gonna have to come to therapy for the rest of her life. And also what he wanted was to make her a victim and say that the family was not doing enough. You guys don't support her. You guys don't do whatever. And I was like, oh my God, doctor, I'm not
bad.
I don't agree, doctor. Okay. And she's gonna get over it. And I remember one time telling her, Mom, you wanna get over this? You have to do it. I cannot do it for you.
Yeah.
We, the family, cannot for you. The doctor cannot do it for you. The pills cannot do it for you. And she got over it. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
So for me, maybe something, it kind of touched fire, this situation that happened this week, by the way, of this person. And what I felt, because sometimes you could be understood the wrong way of saying, who are you to ask me if I had a loss, because sometimes it's something as simple, mate, as just being upset.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the case of this lady, okay? But it could be, or just being upset with life. Why me?
Yeah.
Why not, the neighbor or whatever? And it has come to me, mate. I'm sure to you as well, but lately it has come to me a lot. That life, we have to let it go through like air, like a bird. Like
that's it.
All of these issues, you have to just let them go through you.
Yeah.
Okay. Not keeping them, not capturing them, not being upset at them.
Yeah.
Whatever, good or bad, they're just titles. Okay. Whatever situation, you just have to flow and leave it behind. Leave it behind.
Yeah.
Oh, I got ill. Okay, let me try my best, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But like that,
That's it.
and
Don't cling.
exactly,
Yeah.
don't cling, exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, again, we have to be very careful and respect. If someone that is ill might say, "Oh, that's easy for you guys, that you guys are fine." I know it's not easy. I'm just saying the intuition that we control our reactions. We control how we react to everything.
Yeah.
And it's maybe sometimes we don't want to hear that it's us creating our own problems
Yeah.
by taking a reaction. Okay. It's
Yeah.
so difficult, man. I'm happy I didn't touch the subject because it's something I guess people don't want to hear that they have this issue and maybe self-inflicted. Okay? This because it's not the point. It's not saying, "Oh, it's your fault," like doctors do. Okay, so I remember
Yeah.
doctors will say they will check my weight and my blood pressure, and if the blood pressure was off 5 points, 125, you see, maybe you don't exercise enough, and maybe you don't need, and they will have a diet coke or smoking or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they will be judging you, and they will be perfect because they're doctors. They studied 15
Okay.
years. I remember one guy when I was trying to clear out my chronic fatigue and that. I went to a guy and I made a very deep 20-minute explanation, mate. And he was looking at started with early smartphones and that. And at the end he says, "Are you a doctor? You have a degree in something or something? You have no idea what you're talking about." He said. And I said, "Doctor, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about how I feel
Yeah.
inside. I
That's
went into
it.
detail. I
Yeah.
mean, don't tell me no, you don't know anything." And I remember him telling me,
That's
what
bad,
you
isn't
have
it?
what you have is depression and anxiety. Well, because they solve everything with that, because they pump you with drugs. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they
Make
get
money.
paid. They get paid a
Yes.
lot of money with that,
Yeah.
those antidepressants and that. I said, "No,
Yeah.
thank you, doctor. Oh, you don't want it? You're gonna feel great now? No, thank you.
Yeah.
I know that's not my problem." Oh,
Yes.
yeah, he said, "You're probably from Oxford or whatever smart ass." And I was
Sarcasm.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm talking about a private doctor that charged me for the consultation and that. Okay.
Wow. Bad attitude.
And yes,
Yeah.
and it's like that. And when you say I want a second opinion or I want to go maybe with a natural thing,
Yeah.
immediately it's because you're touching the fibers, you see.
You're doubting them, aren't you? Yeah. They don't like that.
And the problem with this doctor was he was not used to someone knowing his case so much, someone informing, because I mentioned it. I think it's probably something with my cells. And he said, "You have no idea what you're talking about. It's like me
Yeah.
trying to build a plane when I'm not an engineer." Well, try it. Maybe you can make it. And even better
Yes.
than the ones we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, it's ego, isn't it? His ego got hurt because you questioned him. And I think that's the point. The world we're born into, it's mental. It literally is a mental existence. So everything's done in the mind. Oh, I learnt this. I've got to think about it, keep thinking about it. Everything is in the mind. And it's taken us away from the present and living and experiencing it for ourselves. It's like they want to put in our head what they want in there and fill it up with what they want us to believe instead of us finding out for ourselves. And that's why they fill us up with their beliefs, so they can control us. So when you decide, "Nah, I don't trust this, I don't believe in that," they don't like it because they know you're going to find out for yourself now. And that's very, very intelligent, very destructive to their system, because they can't control you from the external anymore because you don't trust them. And I think that's where a lot of these people's problems come from. Emotional problems, mental health, whatever it is, depression. They believe the labels. They believe the label that this doctor has put in their head and said, "That's what you are." And they believe it. And that means they're now in a complex over it. They get in a state because they trusted the label when they should have said, "Well, maybe I'm not. Thanks for the advice, but I'll see you later, maybe." And start thinking for themselves, search for their own truth. And I think that's what the world's done to us. It's made us believe in their labels instead of us finding out for ourselves. And that's literally science versus source, because we are the source. I think that's pretty much where we should be looking. Not trusting so much, not trusting other people, second-hand information. Just, okay, thanks. I take it with a pinch of salt. I wasn't there, I didn't see it, so I don't know. I can't say it's true. I wasn't there. But if you believe that, that's you. Good. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just they don't want us thinking for ourselves. Here's me hat again. And I think that's it. The heart, the presence, the consciousness that we are is way more intelligent than anything these doctors and scientists could tell us. It's the reality. It's what it is. So, yeah, think for yourself. Trust no one or nothing. And it's not in a bad way. It's just to be unique, be yourself. And then you'll find your way. You won't need to worry. You'll find your way.
And you know what, mate, as we were saying that your intuition and your connection to source and the universe and everything is far more intelligent and wise, came to me just in nature. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you think you're smarter than nature, I have nothing more to say. I rest my case. Okay. But just in nature, these full systems, these incredible ecosystems that operate purely on intuition. There's no guidance, there's no fixing, there's no retro engineering, there's nothing.
No.
There's no director, there's nothing. And all of these species, just think of it, mate.
Yeah.
Butterflies, birds, fishes, tigers, and and elephants, and working together, and going by their day. Incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's still the people that believe that a smartphone is much better than that. Oh, wow, this amazing.
Yeah.
This thing that.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. That's the beauty. That's what I see when I see Terence Howard speaking, or others.
Yeah.
Harold Klaus-Vela, or you, mate.
Yeah.
Or other people.
Thanks.
I mean, pure natural intuition. Pure wisdom from source. Okay.
Yeah.
Undiluted, doesn't have an agenda, even simple in some ways, far more advanced than what we have here artificially. Because if you think about it, we're talking before recording about this concept of giving pills for side effects, or more than side effects, mate. Because side effect could be a headache, man. Okay.
Yeah.
But damages created by other pills.
Yeah.
Actual damages, okay. This pill damages your stomach. I'm going to give you a pill to fix your stomach.
Yeah. Well, it proves they don't know what they're doing.
Yes.
They shouldn't have given you the first pill.
Yes, exactly, mate. Exactly that. It proves that we do stuff, and most of the things we do here, one very clear example, energy, mate. We go about it the wrong way. All of the energy systems, all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Clearly, one day when we finally discovered that energy was always with us, it had to be always with us. Then, you see, we had it here all the time, and we were burning stuff, and
primitive, very
how
primitive.
does nature works? Does it have energy plants? No. It operates naturally. Takes energy from the sun and stuff like that. Or from the environment.
That's it. If a tree falls in the forest, a plant dies, the surrounding grass and wood absorbs it.
Yes, and it takes advantage of it. Yeah,
it's just perfect. You can't.
That's why I say, at least when we die, let us go back and serve a purpose. Okay, they put you in a casket, mate. Okay, maybe the snails or something will eat you, but how about they throw you back into nature? Nature will take you back, mate.
That's it.
It will take advantage of your bones. It will take advantage of your carcass. It really will put it to work.
Yeah.
An animal dies in nature. Nature takes advantage of that animal. Yes.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah, it's the natural.
And for the animal, it's a natural thing. It's not that,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to be here. No, I'm dying. Let me go back to nature so I can put in my part.
Yeah.
Mate, we are around 50 minutes.
Okay.
I think it went very fast.
Yeah, it did. It did go quick.
Yes. So I was wondering, you want to say something maybe in closing? Trying to keep it under an hour, remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'll just say, no mind, no problem. The mind is the problem in my world, for me. And don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to be unique. Because when you take the word of someone else, with all due respect, like the best people in the world, good people, it doesn't make them right. You didn't see them, and they normally got it from somebody else. So they got it from second-hand information, and then you're giving it to you as third-hand information, or fourth, or fifth. So it's just ridiculous to trust people, experts, scientists. So yeah, think for yourself, be unique, and stay in the present. Enjoy life, surf the moments, and life will. If you see the signs, life will guide you because you're present. If you're in your head, it's like a lighthouse with the glass all boarded up. You can't see a thing if you're in your head. So be present, enjoy your life, and pay attention to life, what it's showing you. So there's source versus science there. So, great chat, man. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you. And yes, the only thing I can add to that is just try to live in your intuition all the time. So I can assure you, it's because we humanize everything, mate. I can assure you, an animal out there in nature, a dog or something, is not thinking about what happened last week. Is not thinking about what's going to happen in a week. Is not making problems because the lady dog didn't talk to him, or or whatever. It's just living. But maybe that sounds boring. I don't know. For some people, that is just too boring. Oh, do I need to live in the moment? So what I'm going to think about? Nothing. Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah.
You're just going to live versus thinking. And really, this thing we have right now, that with the cell phones and that, people have to be engaged all the time.
Yeah.
Have to be, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be here still. Yes. Appreciate stillness.
Yes.
Appreciate contemplation.
Yeah.
They should be classes out there in schools or something. Just be still for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Learn to do that.
Appreciate your breath, your life force. Appreciate your life. Yeah.
Thank you, mate. That was a great topic. And so we're going to be back soon for the blog. And it's a pretty big deal for me because I want to improve the channel. I'm also improving. I share with you the thumbnails of the earlier episodes, the descriptions of the earlier episodes. I'm trying to get a little bit more expansion. I'm trying to make it a little bit nicer. I'm not going to redo the older episodes, maybe, because that's not the point. And in a way, we have redone shows on over again, in a way, similar or equal topics. So I want the old shows to stay there. And yes, sometimes every few weeks I get a comment, the sound is awful. Yes, that's the way it started.
That's it.
I think things were improved as we went. And for me, I know channels sometimes they only keep the last year. Oh, that's perfect. I respect that. I want to keep the whole. I know a few shows couldn't make it to YouTube. That's a different problem. But the shows that could make it, I want to keep them there. Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes, and it's part of what we spoke in the show, it's not about doing the best, absolute best, nicest, and that's
shiny.
That's quotes, shiny. That's sometimes a lot of the earlier shows, I'm giving you my all with the rainy sound, with whatever the accent, with everything. I'm giving you my all. So there's some nice stuff even on the older shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, mate. That's it. Good stuff.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a great day. Have a great Monday. And if it's okay, I shall see you back on Friday with a podcast. Thank you, mate.
Here's Alex. Thanks, mate.
Thanks. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version of this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions are only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very